back from the dead.
So I know there's a lot of people that are very passionate about hard light DPS and how they go about playing it. And there's many different ways to play hard light DPS because it has so many combos, and there's depending on how you spec, dependent on how you're gonna go ahead and flow through your rotation, and that depends if you want to go melee, range, a mix of both, have certain powers in there that will help you out throughout the raid or the instance, be it a solo or a duo. So some of the things I want to cover here today, as far as hard light goes, is should you use your buffs like inspiration and recharge, and with that, should you use your power interactions, your PIs and your dots like spike, quake, and chompers. As you see, I'm in the loadout that I'm probably using right now on screen. I'm not using loadout and inspiration and recharge. At the moment, the way it stands, you lose DPS if you activate chompers, inspiration, and recharge instead of just starting your combo off with a power and heading straight into your AM. So as far as using your buffs like inspiration and recharge, or a PI like spike, quake, and chompers, they have their uses within the loadouts because it stuns enemies, it makes them panic if you're using chompers. So if you need to pick up a down member, you may want to use it then. But as far as reaching a group of ads that the tank just aggroed and you're about to start DPSing, you should just start off with a power. Which leads me to my next question. A lot of the confusion on the forums as well were about what power should you start hard light off with. Should it be fan? Should it be ram? If you're doing not ram, excuse me. Should it be fan? Should it be light blast? Just depends on if you're doing the range rotation or the melee rotation. As it stands, you can do your math yourself, set up a parser, watch my video on how to set up a parser, go ahead and test it out for yourself. Within the first 10 seconds, if you just start your rotation off with a power that goes into a combo, you're going to do more damage. Also, I personally like to start off my hard light rotation with fan. And if the enemy, I'll kind of watch the enemy's health. If I get interrupted, because really once you start the rotation off, you shouldn't stop unless you're gonna pop something in your utility belt, for example, because that will not stop your AM. Basically, if you're playing melee or you're playing range, it's really up to you what power you want to go ahead and start off your rotation with. They're more or less in the same ballpark as far as damage output. As far as personal preference goes, I like to start off my rotation if it's a range rotation with fan, and if it's a melee rotation with claws. Now, if I do get interrupted, and I see that the enemy's health is below 33% or at 33%, I'll start my rotation off with light blast and let it hit that second tick, which is gonna hit like a finisher. So it's gonna hit real hard, and it's basically gonna help you get your DPS up. But I mean, if you're playing melee and you want to start off your rotation with like chainsaw or something like that, or if you're playing range and you want to start it off with grasping hand, or you're just used to using light blast at the beginning to apply that dot, I mean, go ahead. To each his own, and that's basically debatable about which one does the most damage at the beginning. The important thing is when you get to a group, a mob, when you get to a group of ads, or when you get to the boss, start your rotation off with a power that goes into your combos, because at the moment you're gonna do more damage that way. Now, what happens if you get interrupted? Well, hard light right now has a 3-second window, so as long as you get up within 3 seconds and make sure that you press a power that goes into a combo, you will keep your AM going, your advanced mechanic, and keep doing significant heavy damage. With that said, at the moment, you should let Light Blast and Minigun run out for at least 3 to 5 ticks. That way you get maximum damage out of Light Blast and Minigun. Now, as far as keeping the AM going, if you get interrupted or you just get knocked down, what you can do within that 3-second window, or you want to go ahead and you're just, you know, within your combo and you already hit like 50 and in your combo hit counter meter. What you want to do, if you want to go ahead and press anything within your utility belt or your buff trinket, you can go ahead and press any of those powers. Well, I wouldn't call them powers, but anything in your utility trinket, and those will not take away your AM. But if you get knocked down and you use inspiration, or you use something like chompers, and then you go back into your rotation with a hard light combo power, you will not get your AM damage. You will have to start your AM all over again. That is a fact, people. So don't forget that. So just to go ahead and do a quick recap, you know, should you use your buffs like inspiration and recharge? You know, if you're in a raid setting and you know what you're doing, no, not really. If you want to get maximum damage, start off with your powers and head into your AM directly. So no PIs, no buffs. And what power should you use to start? Well, depending on your rotation, but I like myself, I like to start with fan if I'm doing range, and I like to start with light claws if I'm doing melee. And if the opponent is at less than 33% life and I do get interrupted, or I have to go and, you know, use something on my utility belt like an orbital strike or a supply drop or my buff trinket so that I can keep my AM going when I come back. If he is at 33% health or less, I'll go ahead and start my combo off with Light Blast and let it tick, you know, at least 3 to 5 ticks. And if not, I'll probably use fan, you know, just start it off with fan. Thanks for watching, y'all. Subscribe for more on DCUO. Jade out.